Hey, how y'all doing? Thank y'all so much for joining us, yo. You are listening to Debate Fuel every month now, I believe. I believe every month we're gonna we're gonna get together. We're gonna get together with OTS and MTMV and bring you something that you can listen to, man. Give you something a little bit in-depth analysis of the hottest things that have happened over the course of the month. And right now, actually, we don't have to dive in too much to figure out what's been one of the hottest things. The hottest thing right now is the Carson Wentz trade, right? The Carson
Yeah.
Wentz trade that sent quarterback Carson Wentz from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Indianapolis Colts. As you all know, Philip Rivers is, he's retiring, so Philip Rivers is gone, and they had a void there. Well, some people will believe they have a void because depending on how
Yeah.
you view Brissett, right? Um,
I think they still needed to fill a void even with Philip Rivers being there,
right,
to be
right.
honest. So yeah.
So Carson Wentz goes to the Indianapolis Colts for Philadelphia Eagles. For his with the Colts. They get Carson Wentz. The Eagles get a 2021 third round pick and a conditional 2022 second round pick that could turn into a first round, and depending on how well Wentz does over the course of the next season. And so they're there's a lot of people out there who have opinions on this. We're going to Derek because Derek is a Philadelphia Eagles fan, right? And this affects you directly. So, talk to me,
Yeah.
bro. How do you feel about this trade that sent Carson Wentz over to the Indianapolis Colts? Do you believe that the Philadelphia Eagles won the trade? Do you think do you believe in what the plan is going forward? Or even do you know what the plan is going forward? Right? Or do you believe that the Indianapolis Colts got better through this trade?
I believe the Colts won this trade.
Right.
Um, I don't believe the front office of Philadelphia knows what they're doing. Um, I don't even think they know what their plan is because this is what threw me off about it. Now, yeah, there's reports coming out now that Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson weren't even speaking over a course of 8 to 10 weeks this past season, which shows on the field. It showed, which is also why I think Peterson decided to sit Wentz. But there's no way that the Colts are bad in this trade at all. They completely won this. This is something that if it doesn't work out, they can move on from Wentz in 2 years, I believe. Um, it is what it is. Their team is a lot better though. I do believe that they can actually recreate what Philly had in 2017. I wholeheartedly believe that. Frank Reich and Carson have a connection. Um, and I honestly I think that's probably where Philadelphia messed up in the beginning. You let Frank Reich go. And whether he wanted to be the head coach or not, let's say Frank stayed there. If Doug wasn't doing the job, you could have just elevated him into the position and everything would have been great. The question that I have about this is why did you offer Carson Wentz the contract from the beginning? If this was the only thing that was going to be able to get him to get them to move on from him, honestly, I would believe that you would be able to see this 2 or 3 years ago. So why not just keep Nick Foles? Why not keep Nick Foles? You keep Nick Foles. You draft Jalen Hurts. You're not what they're. I think they have 33 million in dead cap now because of this trade. Why keep Carson Wentz if it's only going to take one season for you to move on from him? That's what makes no sense. I and I think we talked about this like maybe a month or two ago, but I told you that I believe that there was going to be a trade between either Carson or Hurts, and I felt like it made more sense for them to trade Hurts, had higher trade value because of the fact that they threw Carson Wentz under the bus. They threw him under the bus and trashed him and expected a king's ransom. Who
But
does that?
you weren't gonna get high value for Hurts after he came out. He came out killing, right? But then he
Mm-hmm.
came back to earth. He came
Mm-hmm.
back to earth in his last few. And when he came back to earth, right, that took away all value because the questions about him still abound. He
For
hasn't
sure.
answered or addressed any of those questions. There's more. I believe there's still more draft capital that you'll get back for a Wentz than you would a Hurts because the potential is there, but the questions are there about Hurts even being a viable option in this league.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think a lot of what we saw last year with Hertz, if you let's just focus on him real quick. With him, I believe that a lot of the issues was that there was confusion with Doug. Doug Peterson did not know what he was doing. He was a horrible play caller. Horrible play caller. In fact, the play that everyone is so fond of in the Super Bowl, the Philly special, that wasn't even his idea. Nick Foles had to run to the sideline and talk to him and say, "You want to run this? You want to run a Philly special?" Doug goes, "Yeah, let's do it." So he wasn't even calling these plays. So mix that with the fact that the offensive line, I think they had 13 different personnel switches on the offensive line, maybe 14 within 16 games. So like you can't get any consistency with that. I will say though that Hurts did he did run out of clean pockets sometimes and it messed him up. Rookie mistake. Like I mean he's still a rookie at the end of the day. Well not now, but last season. With no OTAs, no camp, none of that. So basically what you're seeing are the mistakes in game that you would have seen preseason and all that other stuff. We had no opportunity to do that. I think a full training camp and stuff like that will be able to prepare him to do little bit better. Um, However, I lost faith in this team.
Mm.
I've lost faith in them because the owner, Jeff Lurie, is just as bad as Jerry Jones. He just doesn't have a camera. That's it. He's not running toward the media all the time to talk to the media. That's literally the only difference. He makes the same dumb mistakes. He keeps Howie Roseman. I think Howie Roseman's been there for like 17, 18 years. What has it done? We've had one Super Bowl and honestly, I hate saying this, but it really feels like we sold our soul to get that championship. And he's gone through three coaches in the last 5 years, I think. Five,
Mm.
6 years. It's like, come on, there's no consistency. So the problem is obviously the GM doesn't know what he's doing, but the bigger problem is Jeff Lurie will not move him because he's thinking with his heart and not his mind. I know you love Howie Roseman, but you got to move on from him. This is obviously not working, and I don't think that. Of course, the same thing that I keep saying about the Dallas Cowboys that they won't win a championship until or they won't have success until Jerry Jones is dead. I now feel that about Jeff Lurie.
Really?
I honestly do. Like whatever that success looks like. If you're talking about another Super Bowl, whatever. He does not know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing, and because he doesn't know how to actually move on from Howie, now that trickles down to the team. Now they did a great job with getting this coaching staff together. I now call this the Philadelphia Colts because we've pretty much gotten the entire Colts coaching staff minus Frank Reich. That's pretty much what we have, and cool. I'm not against it. But I have low expectations for this team right now. I have low expectations, and I don't even trust them to draft well this season, unless Howie is moved to the side from that position of deciding who we draft. He's had final say over the draft for I don't know how long, and he, he went he solicited Urban Meyer's help for final say on who we draft. I think last year and like if I'm not mistaken, 2 years prior. That's how we got Jalen Rager. Instead of Justin Jefferson, which your scouts said Justin Jefferson is who you should be drafting, he decided I'm going to listen to Urban Meyer and get Jalen Rager. I like Rager, but that made no sense. And then that's also how we got Jalen Hurts. So it's I have concerns with this team, but I will say there all is not lost. I do believe that they could actually um, fast forward this into replicating what we had 2 or 3 years ago. They just have to be smart about what they're doing, and I don't think that they're going to be. That's my reason for having doubt. Now they're saying they're coming out. They're going to go get a quarterback for quarterback competition or whatnot. You can't go get like a Deshaun Watson, right? That's impossible. But why not try and get Cam Newton or try and get Jameis Winston as possible options, cheaper options that you can use if they're the QB1, cool. If they're the backup, cool. Like also another name that I would not mind seeing at this point is Colin Kaepernick. You go out and get Colin
Still,
Kaepernick. Yeah, at this point, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose at this point?
games,
No. What do you have to lose though?
games.
If Colin Kaepernick is your backup, that's what I'm saying. Like, just have him as your backup. What's the issue? He can
Well, the issue is
he can teach Jalen Hurts some stuff.
mhm.
They have similar styles. What's the purpose? What's the loss in that?
So for me, um, so for the Black Power movement, then by all means, right? Yes, go out and get Colin Kaepernick, right? Bring him in, make him your backup, right? Then all power to that situation. At the same time, as a football analyst, it's
Mm-hmm.
been a few years since this man has been in the league.
It has.
Things are now different.
Yeah.
So things in the league are different. I'm not saying he can't adjust. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't come back and do something. But there are viable options in the draft this year. So, and I know you're not saying. I know.
No, I
I know
don't
you're
want to
not saying.
draft the QB. I don't want to draft the QB.
Oh, if you're saying don't draft the QB,
Don't
then that's
draft
a
the
whole
QB.
different thing.
That's what I'm
That's a
saying.
whole different
It
thing.
makes no
So
sense.
I'm saying you should. I'm saying you should invest at least one of these picks in a quarterback.
Not the first overall.
I'm not saying to do that, but you don't have the
Okay, so
first overall, right?
no, not I'm saying our first overall pick. Our first pick
Yeah.
is number 6. So with that pick,
mm,
you go get a receiver.
you could go get a receiver, but and actually these receivers, it depends on who's on the board, right?
Right,
So
right.
I think most of the receivers should still be on the board.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you have what Devontae Smith,
yeah,
Jamar
you have
Chase.
Devontae Smith, you have Waddle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm you, and it's so funny because I don't want to say stay away from a Waddle, but it seems that every time you guys go after a speed guy
Mm-hmm.
over the more polished receiver, you get burned, right?
Yeah.
Except for in the year where you go after a JJ Arcega-Whiteside instead of going after DK Metcalf, right? Um, that was
See,
that was
that's
that was a
Howie
poor
Roseman.
decision.
That's
Yeah,
Howie Roseman. That's what I'm saying. Like that's
that was a
dumb.
poor
That's
decision.
dumb. That's dumb.
But look, a lot of teams made the same poor decision with DK,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
There's no way in the world that dude goes in the second draft. I'm at the draft, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
It was clear. Everybody
Yeah.
and the Seahawks just kind of sat there, and it's not like it's whatever. So y'all made the same mistake. A lot of people made that mistake, right? Even though
sure.
I bet Tennessee has AJ Brown. I'm pretty sure they're okay. But even when they made the AJ Brown pick over DK Metcalf, that was still like, whatever, even though he kind of worked out for them.
Yeah.
My whole point is this. I say that I don't know what's going on in Philly, and I don't know why. You made a. I don't know why this trade was the trade to go after. I don't know why it's a third round pick and a second round pick, a conditional first round for next year, right? A
Hmm.
conditional second that could turn into a first. I don't know why that's the move with a team like Indianapolis instead of with a team like I don't know, the Broncos, where if you make a trade with them, right, um you may be able to cash in on that because they're not quite there yet. The Colts just left the playoffs. No matter if they have any success with Carson Wentz,
Well,
then that second, I
the
don't know.
condition,
That second is different.
the
It's
condi
70%.
yeah, it's
70%.
70 or 75% of the season. And
It's
which I
going to
think,
turn into a first.
yeah,
If he
I
doesn't
believe
get
he
hurt,
will.
they'll turn into a first.
I don't think he's going
But
to
you
get
still
hurt.
got to make the playoffs, though. You got to make the playoffs.
Hmm.
So you have to 70%, and you got to make the playoffs. The
Hmm.
problem is that it's still a coach, and they have a great team.
Yeah,
You feel me? So
yeah.
they don't have as many holes to fill. You could have taken this risk with somebody with a less great team.
Oh, so you're saying that this was more of a risk for Indiana?
No, I'm saying that this is a risk for. I'm saying that this was the not the trade partner. I would say,
For
right? Unless
Philadelphia.
they're just for Philadelphia, right?
Okay.
If you go with a team with more holes than that, even if you did the same deal, then when it's time, right? Then in 2022, right? When you do get the first rounder, it's not a late first. It could be an earlier first.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Well, see, here's the thing. Who was banging on the door to get Carson Wentz?
There could have been a few teams
I
banging
don't,
on the
I
door.
don't think anyone really
And
was.
I don't know if they were banging on the door, right? But I may hold out until the market kind of clears and see what's going on. Now, I think they did early because they wanted to jump ahead. Maybe they wanted to jump ahead of the market before all the cuts and all that kind of stuff happens and they get flooded with competition. But
Well,
I
also
mean,
going
you
into the
can't reach out
calendar
to the
year.
Broncos for the same situation, right? There's no deal with
Yeah.
the Broncos there. They need a guy. There's no deal there in place with them or possible for them.
I don't know that they were even in play because honestly, the only two teams that kept coming up were Chicago and Indiana. I like,
even even if it's Chicago, I probably take Chicago over in Indy.
I know, I hear what you're saying. The condition, you definitely want the worst team
Yeah.
to take him on. But I'm saying, like, I don't think anyone was really like calling Philadelphia. I in fact, I think a lot of the stuff that we were hearing over the last month or so was coming out of Philadelphia. I don't believe that anybody was really like rushing to get Carson Wentz.
They may
And
not have been rushing. You know who I was shocked that didn't even make a move? The Saints.
see, that would have been interesting. That would have been interesting. Yeah, but I mean, again, when you knock down the value of your player, you couple. Okay, it's already bad that he had a bad season. That's bad enough. But you then trash him in the media. You trash him, and you purposefully go out and get other people and knock his confidence down. What's the purpose of drafting Jalen Hurts? What's the purpose of putting up a statue of Nick Foles and Doug Peterson? What is the purpose of doing that at that point? I understand you go get it. You okay, if you want to do a statue of Nick Foles and Doug Peterson, do that a couple of years later. There was no reason to do that year. There was no reason for that because Nick Foles wasn't even your franchise quarterback at the time. That made no sense.
Hey, hold up. Um, when did y'all win a Super Bowl before that?
I get it. I get it. But
Gotta
listen,
celebrate that, man.
you celebrate it, but you don't you don't go put up a statue in the front of the building at that moment.
Why does a statue of Nick Foles rock your confidence when you the man who beat out Nick Foles? You
Listen,
beat the statue already. Why is your confidence rocked?
I get it, but you got to remember that's that next season. What happened again? Nick Foles came in again to save the day. The only reason why we didn't go into the NFC Championship is because Alshon Jeffrey could not catch the pass. If he caught the pass, we would have won that game against the Saints. We would have won that one. We that momentum was right there for us. That was what dropped our momentum. I'm like we would have won. We would have won. If not, we would have been very like it would have that game would have been a lot closer than it was. But yes, it would have. Yes, it would have.
For the listening audience, I'm shaking my head no every time.
Every time. You know it.
Nah, homie. That game was locked up.
Nah, we would have won that game.
That game was locked up. Oh, look, all your cornerbacks were done. You had no cornerbacks that game.
Yes. I'm not saying we would have won a Super Bowl. I'm saying we like worst case scenario, we would have gone to the NFC Championship. If he catches the ball.
It'd have been more.
If he catches the ball, we could have run the clock out, stuff like that. We would like. I think
y'all would have found a way. Y'all would have found a way to lose that game. That game was ours.
No. It was. We gave it to you because Alshon let it slip through his hands.
I was surprised y'all were even in the game. You know that, right?
I know, but I know you were. But like that's what I'm saying. Like
everybody was.
I wasn't. I knew it was. I'm saying as a fan, as a Philly fan, like I knew what was going to end up happening. He just had to catch the ball. So like all I'm saying though is because of all that, those two things happening consecutive years, you're gonna rock his confidence a little bit. Okay. I'm not saying that it would have been that this is what happens to every quarterback. For him, he is a sensitive guy. So if you know that he's a little sensitive, why would you put a statue up?
When did Carson get this sensitive, bro?
I don't know.
When did this happen?
It's frustrating. I don't know.
It wasn't sensitive when y'all won a Super Bowl. It wasn't sensitive then.
I think he.
Why all of a sudden
I think he was. I think he was because he should have been the guy that because that was his MVP year. I think. Come on.
Okay, so what's the answer? Let's talk about the answer for you all like quarterback. Is it Nate Studfield?
He's a free agent. I don't. He ain't.
Y'all not gonna bring him back to resurrect the franchise and bring it back?
No. Black power.
All black quarterbacks from here on out.
I'm excited about Jalen Hurts. Don't get it twisted. I like Jalen Hurts.
Is he the guy though?
I don't know. We haven't had any time, so I can't make that prediction yet. But what I will say is I'm excited about him and the connection he's made with his team because the team is obviously excited about him.
Are they, or did they have to get rid of Wentz because the coach and the quarterback are not talking?
Bro, think about this. The issues that Wentz and Peterson had when Wentz went out, Hurts came in, you did see a little bit of a spark from the rest of the team. You saw a little spark. Now, maybe that was because there was tension between Peterson and Wentz. But, I mean, Hurts just did his thing. Now, if Hurts can do his thing and actually, clean up the mistakes, I'm not going to make any predictions, but I think we're back on track with what we were trying to do.
If y'all could have traded Hurts right after he beat the Saints, y'all would have got a king's ransom, yo.
That's what I was hoping for. That's what I was hoping for.
The trade deadline was passed already.
I know, but you pull Hurts out, put Nate Sudfeld in, and let that value stay that high. We're already out of contention, man.
Yo, wait. No, you can't do that. And here's why you can't.
Why?
Because he tried to do it. Because he tried to do it for the very last game and people lost their freaking mind.
Yes.
He tried to do it for like the last few minutes of the last game.
No,
and people were like, oh my God, what are you doing?
It was the second half.
Yeah, but still,
they pulled Hurts at halftime.
Thank you. He pulled him at halftime, right? After Hurts did okay in the first half. So then you pull him, right? And when you pull him, you bring in Sudfeld, and then, okay, cool. People still lost their mind. He was all on ESPN. He's not doing his job. He don't play to win, right? He ain't doing like what's his name's on the sideline, your boy, because you think Wentz is in his feelings, right? But then Hurts is in his feelings. Hurts is all hurt on the sideline, like it ain't right. It ain't right.
It was. It wasn't right, man. I get it, but at the same time, here's the thing: the organization is that front office is trash. What do they want to do? They want to get a higher draft pick, right?
Yeah.
Why at that point you're not gonna you already know you're not gonna do anything in the playoffs. Why would you try to push toward the playoffs when you can just get a higher draft pick? That point, cut it off. I already. Here's the thing: everyone was shocked that Doug Peterson pulled Hurts. I wasn't. You know why? Peterson said this over the weekend.
He did.
He said Nate Sudfeld will be on the field. He's going to play. So what's the shock? You guys just weren't listening. That's like people just weren't listening. That's it. That is it.
You thought that he may do the noble thing. You thought that he may do the righteous thing. If the Giants
wanted to get into the playoffs, they would have actually won a few more games. That's all they needed.
You can't say that.
Listen. They're mad at the Eagles for not getting them into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Why?
They're actually mad at the Eagles for not trying.
Why?
Because it was a blatant FU. That's why. It was a
We're
blatant
supposed to help our division rival?
I mean, look, you're supposed to try to win games. It's the thing to do.
Listen, you have nothing to gain from it. You have nothing to gain from it.
But there's no respect for the veterans who are there.
All the people who have
all the people who have put in their time during the week, working out, training in the ice tubs, doing what they could do to win, and then you just say, you know what? Not only F you to the Giants, but F you to Jason Peters, who may not be back ever.
He shouldn't be back. He shouldn't be back.
F you, Vinny Curry. F you, Jalen Mills.
Here's the thing.
F you, Corey Clement.
No. And I don't know why he's still on that team. That's another.
F you, Scott. Like, yo.
No, but answer me this: if it was a disrespect to the game and a big F you to everybody involved, why is that no one's saying this when the Jets did it, when the Jaguars did it, when the Giants did it?
Because they didn't have a chance to win, even if they tried. It's different. It's different. Y'all had a chance to win. If you tried, y'all probably would have won. But they didn't have a chance from the beginning, even if they tried their hardest. That's different.
We win that game. We're drafting. We're winning that. We win a game and we lose in the playoffs. We get a 9th overall pick. 9th versus 6. Listen.
I think y'all were out of contention but when y'all played that game.
We were out of contention 10 weeks prior.
No,
yes,
not in the East. Yes. Not in the East, y'all weren't.
No, not in the East. But come on.
You're in the East.
I know, but we weren't winning that division. Based on, like, come on, we weren't winning that division like at all. So
you could have won a division.
I gave up on that team. Listen,
I gave up, but you could have won a division.
I gave up on them week 3. I gave up on the week 3, bro, because I already knew where this was going.
Because you gave up week 3 don't mean it's over in week 3.
Listen, to me, it was over. I wasn't even focused on them winning. I was focused on what the NBA was doing. That was it. That's what I was focused on.
Let's play a quick game really quick. You ready? There's a song that I really like, man. It's called Should I Stay or Should I Go? It's by Brian McKnight, if y'all don't know that. Oh, you can listen to Pass the Ox. They play a lot of great songs. So while we're saying that, right, go to OTS, look out for Pass the Ox. They play a lot of great songs. And every now and again, they may bring up some R&B or something like that. So just, pay attention to that. Shameless plug for OTS. All right, now, should I stay or should I go? I'm going to bring up a free agent, right? And you tell me if you want to keep him or if you don't mind if they go, right? All right. So Jason Peters is coming to you. Should I stay or should I go?
That nigga needs to stay far away. I love Jason Peters, but
no, you don't.
No, I love him.
Apparently you don't. Apparently you don't.
Listen, let me ask you something. Okay. What good is an offensive lineman if all you're going to do is do this and then just put your hands down and let the defensive lineman go by and sack Wentz?
How's my quarterback been treating me in meetings?
I don't care.
It matter.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This man was on. I think he was supposed to be playing right guard. Andre Dillard goes out with a torn bicep and he's done for the season. He tells the organization, "I want a raise to go back to my old position."
Big facts.
Okay, I
Cause
get
he
that.
about to get exposed.
I listen. I get. I get. You feel you have value there. We didn't want him. The fans did not want him back 2 years ago. 2 years ago. So I don't care about how he feels. Okay. Listen, he stole money. Lane Johnson gave up part of his salary to make sure that Jason Peters was good to go to play on the left
Mm,
side.
mm.
And then what do? I don't care about whether Wentz is not a good quarterback for you. This man gave him money so that you could get a bonus and go back to playing your old position. I don't care how Wentz treated you. I don't care if he invited you over for dinner every week. I don't care if he ignored you in the locker room. I don't care. If that man gave him money so that I could go and play this position, I'm going to go play my position and do it to the best of my ability. This man literally just sat there. He stood there. You know what? My grandmother would have been a better offensive line, would have been better left tackle than Jason Peters last
I'm
year.
not gonna let you disrespect the
No,
legacy of Jason
no,
Peters
no. He
by replacing
disrespected.
him with
No,
your grandmother.
he
That's
disrespected
not.
his
That's
legacy.
no, no,
No,
no, no,
listen.
no. Too far. Too
He
far.
disrespected his own legacy to
Grandma's not
agree with
standing in front of no defensive
my
ends.
grandmother would have done. She's Jamaican, bro. My grandmother would have done a lot better. She would have done a lot better than Jason Peters. Okay, and like I love Jason, love him. He's an Eagles legend,
You do
but
not
you are
love Jason
hurting your
Peters.
legacy by continuing to chase a ring. You're not chasing anything. You're not chasing anything but who you were 5, 10 years ago. Okay. He was great up until 2017. After that, he's been trash. And he gets hurt every play. You see him on every game. You go out there, he goes stands out there. And guess what? I guarantee you he's gonna be coming off the field limping from something. This dude
All
who
right.
this dude said he needed to get surgery on his toe and declined to get surgery on his toe so he could be out there. We weren't doing anything. Go get surgery. Lane Johnson. What's your purpose?
this
one, of,
dude said,
one
this
of the
dude said,
cardboard
go,
cutouts.
go get surgery.
One of the cardboard cutouts would have been better than him. Like I love Jason, but yeah, go.
All right,
Stay.
let's go. Let's go with let's go with Jalen Miles. Mills, I'm sorry,
Mm,
safety.
yes,
Should I stay or should I go?
stay, stay. He actually did a lot better this season as a safety than he did the previous seasons as a cornerback.
Facts.
So yeah,
Facts.
you pay him and bring him back.
LSU guy, I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not gonna say I really liked him coming out. I'll say I expected a lot more than I got at the cornerback spot,
Mm-hmm.
but I was pleasantly surprised from what he brought to you at safety. I thought that was
Yes,
dope.
very
All
much
right.
so.
Nikhil Roby Coleman. Should I stay or should I go?
I would bring him back just to see what happens. I mean, it wouldn't be an expensive thing, but I mean, at this point, everything's expensive for us. So, um, yeah, I mean, I guess you see what happens. You bring him back on a cheap deal, see what happens. Put it make it an incentive based contract or something like
I say put that on the street. That's what I say.
that. I mean,
I say he shouldn't get a job ever. That's what I say.
I'm listen. I'm not mad
I say
because
bring I say bring him to the booth.
Kavon Wallace was doing a good job when he got a chance. So I'm
I
either
can't
way, it don't
stand
matter to
Nikhil
me.
Roby Coleman.
I,
I
Either
can't
way,
stand the
I know
cowboy
why
Bacall.
you can't stand them, but
Nobody knows why I can't stand him,
yeah,
but
because you guys got screwed, right?
we didn't get screwed. He's the screwy. Anyway, he's the screwer. He did the screwing. Duke Riley. Can't
Duke
believe this
Riley.
fool. Get rid of him.
You keep
All
him.
right, Duke Riley. What you think?
You keep Duke Riley.
Really? Should I
Yeah,
say? Should I go? You keep him?
yeah. You keep him.
Okay.
You keep him. He did a good
Okay.
job. He did a good job.
I didn't mind him coming in. Now I'm gonna bring in my last one. Okay. And I want to know what you think about this because there was a lot of productivity, but there's a lot of room to grow here, right? Because he's super short. Boston Scott. What do you think? Should I stay or should I go?
I think he's a great compliment to Miles Sanders in terms of he's smaller and he brings that Darren Sproles spark.
Dude, y'all have been chasing the Darren Sproles spark for generations now.
Bro.
Y'all can't get over that dude.
No, I love Darren.
Wow.
But I will say, if there's a better option as a backup in free agency, or you can make a cheaper trade, do it, because Miles Sanders is the guy. There is no question about that. He is the guy. So you just need to bring in someone that's going to be able to compliment him. That's it. I mean, if you keep him, Corey Clement should have been gone after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I haven't seen his value in some time.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
After 2017, you kick him to the curb. I would actually go back and get Kenyon Barner, 3-time Super Bowl champion. Now go get him and bring him in place of Corey Clement. Just have him made the third string or whatnot. It wouldn't be an expensive contract. So he already knows the team. What's the
does I think there's too much. I think there's a lot of value here now, so I probably wouldn't go out and do that. And there's going to be some names on the open market that I'll be a little bit more interested in than Barner. But I'm gonna say this: we have to talk about the Colts because that's the other side of this deal, right?
Yeah.
So the other side of this deal is the Colts, and so now they get a Carson Wentz. You're familiar with him. If you're getting a healthy Carson Wentz, what are the Colts? What should they expect from a healthy Carson Wentz?
Super Bowl.
You think they have the team to go to a Super Bowl?
I think they can make a push into the Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years for sure. If it's not this season, they could definitely. That's a really good team. Indiana.
They're a really good team.
I like Indiana. So, you know what I would not mind seeing? I wouldn't mind seeing them trade for Zach Ertz. I wouldn't mind.
Do they? I don't know if they need him though.
Listen, whether or not,
I don't know if they need him,
because he could get cut next month. If they can't find anyone to trade Zach for, he's gonna get cut. So go get him. Go get him. I mean, he's a Ertz has been injured a lot. The last 2 years, he's had some nagging injuries, but when he's healthy, full on, I forgot their other tight end that they have.
I don't know if they need him. They got Jack Doyle, Trey Burton, Mo Alley Cox, all those guys.
Trey Burton, I think Burton's out the door. I think he's a free agent.
Burton could be a free agent, but when I look at,
and he's not someone that you like need. I love Trey Burton because
Burton was good. He did well last year.
He did do well, but I don't think they're gonna bring him back.
I think they bring him back. I do.
If they do, then you don't need him.
I think they bring him back,
you don't need Ertz. I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think you need Ertz.
But I don't think not with. Back.
I think they will though. Based on his productivity towards the end of the season, I liked what he did there. I think they bring him back, but it depends on how much it costs. And Yeah. So maybe it's friendly. If it's a cap friendly deal, then I think they're bringing back. Um, Dude, what they got at running back is nice, and maybe I don't know what happens with Marlon Mack
Yeah,
this year. That's a
yeah,
good question
yeah.
about what happens with Marlon Mack. But
Mm-hmm.
um, Naheem Hines, if you bring him back, right, I think
Mm-hmm.
then
I
you're,
think they're going to. I don't think you have a choice.
yeah. I think if you bring him back into his prominent role, though, that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah, yeah,
right? You
yeah,
bring him back
yeah,
into his prominent role, then you have a guy who can really do his thing. I don't know about Marlon Mack. I think you can probably trade him, um, if Jonathan Taylor's ready to take the reins, because it looked
yeah,
like he was
yeah. It
toward the
did.
end of last year.
It did.
Dude, Carson's going to a great team. T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman Jr. The question that I have is, do you believe that they need another guy who can go get it? Because Wentz really does well when he has a guy who can go get it. Now, Hilton can, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where Hilton seemed to have. I'm not gonna say he fell off, but I didn't see the explosive plays
Something
like
was
we've
weird
seen
with
in the
him.
past.
Something was
Something
weird
was
with him
weird.
last year. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened, but here's what
So
I'll
did he
say.
need another guy?
You can use another guy. I think there's a difference between needing and using.
Okay.
Um, Again, this past season, I throw that out the window. Carson Wentz threw over 4,000 yards the year prior when not one receiver had over 500 yards.
Big facts. Big facts. So would
So
you like
those guys, if he could do that with those guys, Pittman, Hilton,
T.Y. Hilton?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
And
guarantee
Paris and Paris Campbell?
he Carson Wentz is going to prove to everyone. I still have faith in him.
Mm. Okay.
He's going to prove to everyone that the MVP season that he had was not a fluke. He proved that to me already,
Mm.
but I think everyone else will now realize that that's not what it was. And I don't know what it is, but for some reason, when you're an Eagle, you get bad press. I don't know what it is, but a lot of guys there get bad press.
The
Now,
media out there is next level,
horrible.
bro.
They're horrible.
They different. They're
They're
not
horrible.
friendly. They're not nice all the time. So and they don't mind asking your coach some really hard questions. That translates to what they ask the players,
Hmm.
and they're a lot more critical than they are celebratory.
It's okay to be critical, but you have if you're going to be critical, you have to be critical from a factual perspective. And those guys just talk to talk. There's nothing. I really don't understand Philadelphia media. Um, so I think a lot of the stuff that we were hearing from the media had that originates from Philadelphia, and that's what I think that's all ultimately what brought Wentz's trade value down. Because if say you traded Carson Wentz the year prior,
Probably two first rounders.
easy, easy. You know what I'm saying? So like
Mm.
everything that they did, I think hurt his reputation. But when you get the player on the field, he is going to do damage. Look, obviously I'm not a Colts fan, but Indiana is a team to be feared. They are. If I'm wrong about that, I am fine with it. I will. That is a prediction I will be willing to die on the hill with, because I do believe that Carson Wentz is going to be able to prove everyone wrong. He's going to prove everyone wrong, and I think Philadelphia will end up regretting what they did.
Mm.
I do believe that. Now, I'm not saying that they won't be able to have success with Jalen Hurts. That's not the same thing. Um, but I think it's going to take them a lot longer to get where they want to go from a rebuilding standpoint than if you just kept Carson Wentz, because now you're strapped. You're strapped. You got 33 million in dead cap this season.
Mm.
What are you gonna do? So Indiana, they've got the pieces in play. Again, I think I made my prediction about Carson Wentz last year with this last season, talking about this coming season as returning to that form. The prediction still stays, even with him on a different team. I don't care where he is. I think that he's going to be able to prove everyone wrong. The dude is phenomenal. You remember how excited I was when we found out that Sam Bradford got traded and it was Wentz's team. That excitement that I had back then. I still have it. I still have it.
And you have that excitement for the Colts now.
Yeah.
Man, okay. So let's wrap it up. We'll go with final predictions for where the Eagles will be, final predictions for where the Colts will be, right? You can give yours and then I'll give mine, or or I can give mine and you give yours. What you think?
Oh, you can do you can do first. I'm fine.
Okay. I think the Eagles headed to the Super Bowl, man. When I think about, I'm just playing with you.
I was about to say, why would you say that?
Nah,
oh, you got a lot of faith,
man. Nah, man. I know they're heading into it. This could be surprising. I don't want to doubt Hurts just yet, and we have too much time between now and the beginning of the season to outright say what's going to happen with this Eagles team, right? There's a lot of pieces that we don't know about. Elshon Jeffrey's one of them. We just don't know about what's going to happen with him.
I think we know what's going to happen.
I don't think we do.
I think
right.
How he's going to happen? How he's going to mess it up somehow.
What do you think you're going to do?
Alshon's going to be back.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, he'll be back. He'll be back as your primary receiver. Deshaun Jackson will be back. They'll find a way. All these guys will be back, and then they'll be hurt by what? September, right? Or no, forget
it.
July. They'll be all hurt by July.
Yeah.
And we'll walk into the season. Yeah. We'll walk into the season with the same situation. Miles Sanders, the question is, okay, if you're really in what you would call a rebuild right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not super cap prohibitive to get rid of a Miles Sanders right now if you're trying to get. I know it's weird, but what I'm saying is you're in a situation where you're trying to rebuild. You're going to rebuild. You have to rebuild, right? He's your most valuable asset, or you're about to waste the next 2 years of his life.
I think we'll see that. You can also say that about Saquon Barkley, right?
No.
Yeah. They're New York's not in a rebuild.
They are in a rebuild, but they're doing better. They're in a better place.
They're in a better place than us by default.
Yes. They need wide receivers. Listen, they're closer to you. All are okay because you're in the East. Everybody's okay.
Yeah, we're
all if we're talking about that, then everybody's on a level playing field, and the top isn't too. As long as Dak is in shambles or Dak, we don't know what's happening with Dak, right? As long as that's the case, then everybody's close. Washington, Washington, they need pieces. You need the Eagles need a lot of pieces. The Giants need a lot of pieces. So actually, it's not really about, you're not too far away from outright winning the division, or either if you make the right moves, you could basically dominate the division for the next few years.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I do believe that they can do it. That's why I said at the beginning, I don't think that all hope is lost. I think that it's very possible that this offseason could determine where we go for the next few years.
But depends on how. My thought is, depending on how you're rebuilding, and I don't want you to trade Miles Sanders. I really don't.
I don't want to either.
I'm thinking about your most valuable asset. If you are in the middle of a rebuild and you need to go and get either draft capital or you need to go and get like super dynamic players, people think, oh my God, nobody would ever get rid of a guy like a Miles Sanders, right? But you thought the same thing when Khalil Mack was put on out there, right? Yeah. And they paid for that, but they were like, okay, cool. This is our best asset. We got to put him on the market, right? Amari Cooper. Nobody thought that that would ever happen, but you saw that trade go down. DeAndre Hopkins, which was the dumbest trade of all
That
times, right? But you saw him get traded in the offseason. What I'm saying is, if you all are in the middle of a reset, unless all the chips are on the, I think all right now, all the chips on the table behind Hurts, right? Or they're clearing out, or they're clearing out space to go and get a guy at the top of the draft. If you don't believe in Hurts that much,
well, see, here's the thing. There's a difference between a reset and a rebuild.
facts.
If you're going to rebuild, then yeah, you get everything you can for for that has high value right now. You go and do that right now. But I do believe that, and I said rebuild earlier. I do believe that they're in a reset right now.
Got it. Okay, so
I
you don't
believe
think they're
they're.
gonna rebuild?
I don't,
Okay,
because I think what's going to end up happening is this off season. If all they do, you go and see. This is what I was talking about last draft. I wanted Cesar Ruiz because I wanted a replacement for Jason Kelsey, right?
mm,
You need his replacement now. You needed his replacement 2 or 3 years ago. Um, so I think all they have to do, because your offensive line is pretty much set. You have Brandon Brooks coming back. You have Lane Johnson coming back. Whatever happens with Andre Dillard or Jordan Mailata on the left, I think they're pretty much set. Draft a receiver, draft Jason Kelsey's replacement or potential replacement, go get a corner to help Darius Slay out. That defensive line is still stupid.
yeah, one of the best.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
if you do all those things, I think you're right back in the thick of things. I think you're right there. I'm not saying that they're going to win the NFC. I'm not saying like any of that right now. But what I am saying is where they were 2 years ago when they were one of the final four, I think 6 teams at that point. You could be right back at that point this season if you do everything the right way this offseason, even with this cap hit.
I don't believe in. I like Hurts. I think Hurts could be great. I don't know if I believe in Hurts as much as I believe in the quarterbacks that are in this draft. Um, so I'm a little bit
So
different.
who
I
would
say
you
go
get to draft?
probably Trey Lance. I would look at a guy like Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance is what 6'4", 226, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year he went through, I think, I forgot how many touchdowns, but 0 interceptions, right? Takes care of the ball. He's a mobile guy, definitely a mobile guy, but also one who's accurate, right? And he's a little bit like, I want to say, um, he's the probably a black, more poised version of Carson Wentz. Does that make sense? Kind of in my mind a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's a great prospect. Some people think that's a little too high for him, but I
Mm-hmm.
think he could be that guy. Some people also are looking at a guy like Zach Wilson if he's there for you at that pick. But I don't know if he'll be there. But right now, the consensus. I mean, not consensus, but opinions are saying he's going in the top 10. I think you all are a candidate for that guy. Depends on what type of offense you're thinking about running for the next year. Does that make sense? So I like Hurts, but I don't forget the fact that when I saw Hurts in college, and he was always high potential, high productivity because of the system, but I never truly believed in him as at the quarterback spot because of his inaccuracy. Like his inaccuracy is always a thing for me.
So let me ask you this: with Sirianni as the head coach, um, and I forget his coach that he had in Oklahoma that just came onto the train onto the staff, but with those guys in place, if Sirianni runs this offense similar to how Indiana ran their offense, similar to how Philly did when Nick Foles was there, do you not think that that would be a good environment for Hurts?
I think it'll be okay. So I think it'll be a great environment for Hertz if all the chips are on the table for Hertz, right? If it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, we're putting everything in for Hertz. If
Mm-hmm.
that's the case, then I take back everything I say about Miles Sanders because you're gonna need him there for sure,
Oh yeah,
right? So
yeah.
so that doesn't happen. It's still him. And also, if all the chips are on the table for Hertz, right? Then I also take back the Trey Lance thing because then at that point I'm saying go get a weapon for him, get a weapon for him, or go get a protection for him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Protection for him will be necessary,
Very
right?
much so.
But you also need reliable weapons for him on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Deshaun Jackson ain't gonna get it. Elshon Jeffrey can't get it done. JJ Arcega-Whiteside's not the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Rager showed me a little bit. And when he did show me something, he then followed that up with showing me nothing for a
Nothing.
little while,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So go get a weapon. You have some bona fide weapons in this draft. You have
Mm-hmm.
like bona fide weapons in this draft, right? In Chase and
Mm-hmm.
Waddle. And you have some guys. And so I would say go get some guys, right? I would say go get them. If that's where we're headed, then by all means, let's make that pop, right? Um,
Yeah.
if if we don't do that, then I would say even looking at a guy like Kyle Pitts. I like a guy like Kyle Pitts because your team seems to be very tight end friendly, and this guy's the ultimate tight end. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? And that
Mm-hmm.
also helps the development of of a quarterback. So I would say all those things are on the table. All those things are in play. My thing is that what else do you need? You mentioned a cornerback. You need that, right? Do I think there'll be a great environment for him? I think it'll be a great environment because then the offense will be a little bit more tailored to, not a little bit, a lot of it tailored towards him. We
Mm-hmm.
saw quarterbacks in his same situation do well in situations like that, right? Like Lamar Jackson,
And
right?
that's who
We've
I
seen,
was just about to talk about.
yeah,
It seems like their offense would run more like Baltimore's offense, where you have the threat of the run at all times, Hurts or Miles Sanders, and if you can't really key in on who's going to actually take off, it's going to mess the defense up, right? And so I think that's where this would help Hurts a lot is if you keep him there, you just put in those little pieces that help. Again, I think with the sixth round, the sixth pick, you go and get a receiver. You go get a
but
receiver.
but that's when you believe in Hurts, bro. Like
I'm
that's
at
when you
listen.
believe in Hurts, and I
I'm at the
think you're
point.
there, but I'm not.
Here's the thing: whether it's Hurts or a different quarterback. Let's say, for example, Hurts isn't the guy we think he is. You still have the option of going after another quarterback on the free agent market. Jameis Winston. Let's say you're able to go get him. If you have a receiver, like between
I'm
between
not
Dallas
in, I'm
Goddard, between
I'm not
Miles
in love with
Sanders,
Jameis either, and I don't think he's the
he'd be
answer
better.
for us, and I don't think he's the answer for y'all.
Listen, I don't know who the answer is. That's why I'm open to all possibilities. But at the same time, I think that if you do all these moves as an organization, this all signifies that they were willing to put their chips on Hertz. You go and get everyone that tailors their coaching to Hertz.
Yeah, you say make it.
Just
You say
just
put your
see
chips behind him. Let's see what happens.
just see what happens. If it doesn't work, let's say that it doesn't work this season, with this coming season, then you go ahead, figure out who you need to move on and go get. But
I go pull a. If my chips are on the table for him, I still go think about in the second and third, maybe with
mhm,
that third round pick that you got from the Colts, maybe you go and get a Kyle Trask if he's still available.
that's what I'm saying. Like that, you can draft someone later that could be a project. I mean, Howie Roseman said it during this last draft, that they want to be a quarterback factory, right?
Okay.
You're a QB factory. I don't know why you want to be a QB factory. I would rather keep one person that I know that would be able to keep my offense up for
No,
10,
no. You
15
know why
years.
you're a QB factory? You want to know why?
Why?
Because you can always trade him. You can trade him,
That's
and
fine. That's
That,
fine.
that's why he wants to be one though. Because think about who did that? Who does that? New England. New England has been a QB factory.
Yeah, but you're more, you know who your QB1 is at that point.
Yes.
He
Yes.
said this after he signed Carson Wentz to that deal, and you go get a Jalen Hurts? That made no sense. If you're
Yeah,
talking
but he
about
was
you go get someone like, for example, I forget the guy's name that was at North Dakota as well, that I think is a backup at in Los Angeles. Um they could have drafted him later on and just said, you know what, he's just a project that we have. See what he can do. Now, Jalen also, now what I do like about Jalen is that he can act as a different weapon. Say for example, you got what's my guy's name? Jesus. We have a receiver, I forget his name, that played quarterback at, I think in at, was it Kansas? Someone, but we have another option at quarterback that can throw the ball. He poses a different a dual threat in the run and in the pass, in the catching situation. Jalen Hurts. So if you're gonna switch out and do different like gadget plays, do that. But all I'm saying is you have nothing to lose this season. Literally nothing to lose. We've pretty much already given up for the next couple of years in terms of actually knowing what can happen. Right now, throw caution to the wind. Build around Hurts. See what happens for a year or two. If it doesn't work, move on. Move on. Then you trade Miles Sanders, and then you embrace the rebuild.
yo, right now, 7 Eagles are already questionable for week 1, according to ESPN. So so I like your I like where you're headed.
Well, see, here's
No,
another thing.
I'm dead serious.
Travis Fulgham. Travis Fulgham is a receiver that they need to go ahead and make their number one.
You know
Be-
what? I say we dive into that next time. We got to talk about people who we believe in
Mhm.
and people who we don't, right?
You don't
So
believe in Fulgham?
I like Fulgham as a surprise weapon. I don't like Fulgham as I'm the guy now.
Well, who else would be the guy at this point? If you
Jalen,
listen,
okay,
if you go get
so
Chase, if you go get Chase, for example, or Devontae Smith,
he's a guy immediately.
easily, easily,
Yeah,
and you have
easily.
Fulgham as your number two. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
keep.
Or my 3 actually, because Rager should be my 2.
I don't believe in Rager being a two.
You don't believe in Rager as a 2?
Not right now.
You
No.
think he's a slot guy only?
Right now, yes. Right now. Now, and the reason why I'm saying that is because when he was dependent on being as the number one receiver, what happened? Now, granted, that is under Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz era, so it's very possible that he could prove everyone wrong. But at the same time, I would rather have Fulgham and Rager out there with a Chase or a Smith, and you combine them with Dallas Goddard and Miles Sanders. That would be a high powered offense. That'd be a high powered offense. I think that's something you can work with at that point.
Yeah. So okay, cool. If like we're saying, all chips on the table for we're gonna find out in the draft where they're thinking, and actually we're gonna find
Yeah,
out in free agency what they're thinking, right?
yeah.
So we'll figure that out, y'all. But yo, thank you so much. Oh wait, coach, where do I think the Colts are going? Deep into the playoffs. I think they can lose in the AFC Championship game. In my mind, I'm thinking they could
Facing
lose an
who?
AFC Championship game, probably going up against the Chiefs, who will be
Mhm.
back next season, right?
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
they'll go against the Chiefs, probably lose in that game with the Chiefs going back to their third Super Bowl. Or they'll lose just like they did this year, right? The story won't change much, and they'll lose to somebody like the Bills, right? Or maybe depending on how well, we got to talk about this too, depending on how well the Chargers re-up, right? They
Mhm.
could be going up against a team like that who's made a resurgence behind a young quarterback.
Well, see, and that's the thing. The AFC is so stacked
It
now
is very stacked, yeah.
that even if the Colts weren't to make it to the AFC Championship this next season, it's not because they're not a really, really good team.
Facts, yeah.
It's just that there's other
So many
high
other good
powered
teams.
teams.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Bills being there are going to that will be an issue for them for sure.
Dude, but at the same time, and this is why it's a way too early prediction,
Mhm.
because think about how life changes for everybody if they go out and pull a Juju Smith-Schuster, or they go out and
Yeah.
pull a Will Fuller, right? If
Yeah.
they go pull a
Yeah.
Will Fuller, it's over. Let's just wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
over.
I
It's
agree with
over.
that. I agree with that.
Or even in those guys are available for even the Chiefs, because the Chiefs are getting rid of their second receiver and Sammy Watkins, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
Pretty sure.
Juju's out there for the Chiefs,
Yeah.
right? Will Fuller's out there for the Chiefs. So all that stuff can take place. So there's so much to think about, y'all. But thank y'all so much for joining us. We truly appreciate y'all.
Sure.
Hey, like I said, once a month we're gonna be here to debate and talk. And if you like what you're doing, listen. If you subscribe to the podcast, and then if you send money to Ric Sincere at Ric Sincere. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cash sign Ric Sincere, right? On a weekly basis. We can do this. We can do this twice a week. Just say, look,
Yeah.
when you send it in, just say for debate fuel, right? Any donation will be possible. Cash Ric Sincere. Anything. Look, and if you do it, I'll tell Derek. And then I say, hey man, the people are there. They want it more than once a month, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then yeah, I'll take the donation and split it between MTMV and OTS, and we'll call it a day.
We'll match the
You know what I'm
demand.
saying? We'll match the demand. However, if you keep doing what you're doing, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. And God bless you. We love you. We'll see y'all later.
All right, bro.